Hi everyone, Robert here with brpautodesigns.com. Today we're going to be tackling a whole new project. Now, a few weeks ago we received our 2020 Jeep Gladiator, and one of the first things that we did was we did a lift and we went ahead and got bigger tires. Now, we went from 33s to 37s, but as most of you know, anytime you change your tire size, your ratio changes and your speedo changes. So you could be going down the highway doing 55 miles an hour, at least that's what your speedo is reading, but you're actually doing 65. So how do you solve that problem? Well, you have to get a programmer to change the settings to update all of that information on your computer. One of the things that we found was this product is made by Superchips. It's the Pulsar inline performance module. Now, we went ahead and ordered this. We're going to be installing it. It arrived yesterday. I'm going to show you what it looks like and how it works. This product comes with several tunes. It has a sports tune, a towing tune, performance tune. There's several in here. And what's really cool about this unit is it just goes right, it installs right next to your ECM or your computer inside your engine bay. We're going to do that in a minute, and then we're going to show you how to change the settings and that sort of thing and program it from the inside. What's cool about this is you can change this just by using your steering wheel buttons for your stereo or whatever your controls inside. So anyway, let's continue. I'm gonna pop the hood and get started. I'm also gonna open this up and show you guys what comes in the box. Okay, so this is the actual box. If you look at the box itself, it's pretty vague on what it has. It doesn't have much information, but except for this here. All of this stuff is gonna be on the inside. Let's open it up. Let's see how this goes. Actually, I think it's just put this over here on the side. See what the unboxing actually looks like. Pretty simple. There's a owner's manual, installation, standard stuff, your caution, okay, no foam, and I guess this is it. Pretty simple. Tools, zip ties, and a pretty nifty little bracket. Okay, guess it says this is for JL and JT. Alrighty, I guess that's what's in. Shouldn't take us too long based on what's here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do before you start any process of disconnecting your ECM or your computer or anything like that is you want to disconnect your ground or your positive power wire. What we're going to do is we're actually going to disconnect our ground. That'll eliminate any power going to the computer, and like I said, that is the most important step out of this entire thing. The last thing you want to do is fry your computer. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a 10mm socket, you put it on here and start disconnecting. That's pretty much done. All we're going to do is loosen this up, place it out of the way. That will cut all power to your computer. Now we're going to continue. We're going to go ahead and disconnect the intake, and we'll go to the next step. Okay, now that we've got the battery disconnected, we want to go to the next step, which is we're going to need to disconnect the mass airflow sensor. So the way you do that is disconnect this or squeeze on this little plastic clip here and pull out. Real simple. A lot of people will tell you to take this off. I don't like messing with this at all, so I'm just going to recommend you do this. Now the next thing is you want to cut the zip ties that are right here, holding the wires down and pulling it off. Remove that to the side. After that, we're going to take our 10mm, put this aside, and then you're going to need a flathead screwdriver, which will allow you to disconnect this air box up here. You're going to counterclockwise. Once you do that, should loosen up, and then this hose, you need to press this down. See how I'm pressing in? It will release it. Just pull back, and there we have it. And before I forget, there is one more back here. And I believe that should do it. Let's pull this off. Okay, so now that we've got the air box removed, you can kind of see why we had to remove it. We needed to have access to these wire harnesses. Now this is to your PCM or your computers. You can see it back here. This is actually it. What we need to do is we need to press down on these tabs. Press down on that tab and then pull up on the red handle. As you can see, it just pops it off. Just pull, disconnect. Same thing with the other side. Pull up and slowly wiggle it out. There we go. There they are. Now we're going to take a 10 millimeter and disconnect the actual PCM. Okay, so now we went ahead and switched out an extension. We needed a little bit longer one. Now when you remove this one on this side, make sure you remember there is a ground wire that just popped up that I wasn't aware of. As you can see it right there, that will need to be connected back with your PCM, your computer, and that bolt. So make sure you do not forget that step. We've got another one over here. Take off our extension. Get back here. Okay, as always, whenever you're doing a new install on something, there's always some hiccups that will come into play. And if you can see if I can show you down here, there is this bolt or this nut that needs to be removed. You can see where my box wrench is at. That one there will need to be removed. Now this is on the Gladiator pickup truck. I'm assuming that this is the same thing on the JL. The best way to get at it is probably remove this this hose, this vacuum line. So we're going to disconnect that. Just pull on that, pull it to the side, and it should just disconnect. Get that out of the way, and then proceed to remove that. But you won't be able to get this PCM out unless you remove that. So we're going to remove that and then go to the next step. Okay, so now we've got our PCM out. As you can see, this is actually what it looks like. It's real simple. This is actually what runs all your pretty much your electrical in your Gladiator or JL. This is the Pulsar module, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to marry these two together. As you can see, it's pretty simple, very compact. If you look at the PCM, you can see this end here is the male end, and so this is also on this end where it says Pulsar. So you want to flip it, and if you flip it, you'll see the back end has a female end. And what we're going to do is we're going to marry these. Now you can see where the bolts are going to go, so you just need to line them up. It's real simple. You can't mess this up. We're going to put this on top here, line it up like so, and just try to slowly squeeze these in. Make sure they're nice and snug. You can see everything's tight, and that's what they'll look like together. Pretty simple, right? Okay, now we'll go to the next step. Okay, so now our next step is we're going to disconnect the wire harness. From there, you're going to take either a flathead screwdriver or a little tool like this, pull these out, and there's another one underneath here. Actually, that one you're going to need a flathead screwdriver for, and just pull on this little tab here. Actually, may need to use our little upholstery tool. There we have it. Now we have these out. From there, I do recommend you pull out the rest of these. Anything that is holding down this wire harness to the bracket, the factory bracket, and the reason for that is this factory bracket needs to come out. So let's get those all out of the way. And now that we've got that out, we're going to take the 8 millimeters here and take those out. Okay, as you can see, there's, I believe, 4 of these. What I can tell, there's 2 on top and 2 on the bottom. And there's one. Of course. There it is, way down here. And this should slide out. And that's the actual bracket that holds down your PCM. So now we're going to replace that with a new one. Okay, so here's what we got. This is actually what comes with a bracket. So you're going to need your 3 long bolts and then this little one with a Phillips head on that. As you can see, there's 3 of everything. This goes together, and of course this goes together here with an Allen wrench. So we're going to take this bracket's going to bolt onto the top like that, and it's going to go inserted this way. So we're going to take this and go to the next step. Okay, so as you can see, this is a bracket, and this is how it's going to go. So what you want to do is you want to slide this down. This bolt here with the Phillips end has to go through here, and that's going to bolt on through this hole. I don't know if you can see that. Try to get this as best I can. This hole here, this is part of your windshield washer fluid. So what we're going to do is we're going to place this right on top, and we're going to slide this right on through there. And what you want is you want to have a small Phillips screwdriver like this. And it's through. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take this small little washer, as you can see, and place it down in here. See how it goes in there? You can take the screw that's provided with it, with the kit, and then you're just going to tighten it. You're going to get a box wrench and tighten it. Need an 8mm. Wrong one. Hold on a second. Got the right one here. And just hand tighten it. You don't want to over tighten it, and the reason for that is you got to remember this is plastic, and you want to crack your windshield washer. That's pretty much it for that. And we're going to take the top ones. We're going to mount them here on top. And just tighten it, and that'll be going on to the next step. Okay, so now that we've got the bracket on, we're gonna have to squeeze this in through back here. So I don't know how hard that's gonna be. I don't think it will be too hard. It's just a matter of moving some hoses around and trying to squeeze it in. But that's gonna mount right on here. Let's try this out. Yeah, looks easy enough. Just work it back here. Get it back here. We're going to line up the holes. Now this, they did provide us with these long bolts. You can see. Slide those in, and there's a small hole up here. We're going to line it up. Okay. You can see where it came through, a little blurry, but once we get one in, we need to put a flat washer through, and don't forget your locking washers. I'm gonna lock those up, those locking washers. And then the nut. Okay, so now that everything is on and bolted down, all we have to do is reconnect everything back. So you can see, here's one of them. What happened? I lost one. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so anyways, these are the female ends. So you're just gonna reverse what you did earlier. So you're just gonna line this up, try to get these hoses out of the way, because that's the biggest problem, is make sure they go in right. Once they go in, just start pushing down on that tab, make sure it locks, then you're good. That's one. Okay, don't force it, make sure it goes in snug. That's done on that end. Make sure you reconnect everything back. As you can see, we had disconnected this hose here, this vacuum line back. And so now we're going to take this, squeeze it back in, lock it down. Now they did provide us with zip ties, and this is kind of where you have to get your zip ties and zip tie everything back nice and neat. From here we're going to zip tie this, and then we're going to put the cold air or the stock air intake back on, and then connect our battery. Okay, as you can see, everything's put back together. This is what it should look like when it's done. One of the things that I did not mention is you can use the original clips. You can see that's kind of where that goes. The actual clips that we used to take off, and the one that goes underneath here, which is kind of hard to see. So make sure you do not break those clips off. Try to keep them. Those will help out, but it gives it more of an original look. It doesn't look like it's been hacked or anything. Everything came out great. Everything looks like it's back to normal. Doesn't look like a hatch job, which is great, and that's what what you should look like, or what it should look like for you. Anyway, before you close up the hood and go to the next step, make sure that you double check, make sure everything's back to normal. You did put everything back. There's nothing that's disconnected. Double check that, connect your battery, and you should be able to go to the next step, which is tuning it. Anyway, that's pretty much on the install. Next step will be for us to tune the actual system for us. Okay, so we've gone ahead and finished off installing our Pulsar module. So the next step is to calibrate our tire size and show you guys what tunes it comes with and how you can set those and program them. So the best thing to do is actually for the tires themselves, to get the most accurate reading on your tire size, is to take a level and a tape measure. Now this is what I found to be the most accurate and most easiest way to find out what exact size your tire size is. Now even though these, for example, these say 37s, I'm sure they're a lot smaller based on whatever their diameter is there when they manufacture them, but they're a little different. They're not always exactly at what they say. So they might say 37s, but they might be 36s. So what I found is if you grab a level like this one and just put it on the top, right dead center of the tire, you'll get a 0 reading, or the bubble will be right in the middle. Now what you do is you take your measuring tape and you put it right dead center and look at it right where it needs to be. And believe it or not, I'm reading 35.5. That's what I'm reading, and these are actual 37s. So that's the most accurate way. Any tire that you're going to be calibrating into your programmer, you want to do this, and that way you get the most accurate reading, and your speedo will be the most accurate it can be. So now that we've done that, we know that these are 37s, but it reads on the measuring tape 35.5, 35.5. We're going to go ahead and go inside and reprogram it. Okay, so now we're inside our Gladiator, and what we're going to do is go to the next step, which is show you guys how to calibrate your tire size, gear ratio, all of that, and then check on the tunes that are available. So what you want to do is once you come inside the vehicle, you want to press start button 2 times, 1, 2. Make sure you do not start it. Now look, and you'll look at your reading starting to boot up. Okay. So ignore that. That's just, we're messing with the front lights, and so we made some changes, so that's reading on ours, but you won't see that. Okay, once you get to this point, okay, then you're gonna go here and you're gonna press up or down. And what we wanna do is we wanna get it to where it shows up as far as our radio. As you can see, there it is. Now that that's up, now you're gonna go here and you're gonna press the cancel button. Once you press the cancel button, you should get this, which is, that's the tune. It says stock, right? If you click up or down for the settings, you can change the tunes. So you go to economy, okay, if you want to save fuel, if you need a tow, if you want performance. I tell you what, this performance one is amazing. It's like day and night from stock. So those are the tunes that are available already in the Pulsar unit. So that's what you're gonna find, okay? If you want to change your tire size or anything like that, you're gonna go to the cancel button. You're gonna hold it for a few seconds. So press it down, hold it. Okay, now you see it says TPMS off. To turn that on or off, you're gonna press, you can see, press the gas pedal down and hold it down. And as you can see, it says Y, that means yes. To let go, it goes to N for no. Okay, but that's not what we wanna do because we're not even gonna mess with those. But you're gonna hit cancel, or I'm sorry, not cancel, you're gonna go up, adjust TPMS, N for no, Y for yes, tire size. Okay, that's what we want to do. So we want to say let's set this one. So we're going to go down to our pedal and we're going to press down like we're stepping on the gas, yes. Then we're going to hit set. So then it's going to show you English. We're going to press set again, and then we got at 40. So we want to change these. We said our reading was 35.5. So the way you do that is you release the gas pedal slowly. So see how that changes it to 3. Okay, if I release it more, it should go to 2. Okay, and then if I release it all the way, it should stay at 2. It should go all the way to 4. So 40 is the biggest tire size you can put on these Gladiators and Wrangler JL. So we're gonna let go of the pedal and keep it at 3. Okay, keep the pedal holding, and then once you do that, you're gonna press the set button, and that will set that first number set. So now we're at 35. The next button, the next number is 35. So you can press down all the way, and you can see it goes down to 39, or you can go down to 1. So we're going to go to 35. We're pressing the pedal down to 35. We're going to hit the plus button or the set button at 35. Now we need to set that one too, and it's the same procedure. I'm going to set it. Axle ratio, nope, we're not gonna. We're gonna release the gas pedal. We're gonna leave that the same. Program yes. We're gonna hit the set. So now it's programming. Okay, so it's programmed. Now we're going to turn off the truck, and now we're going to press it. And now your tune is set.